Back with Craig, the Canucks are 1 point back of a playoff spot in the West. The Rangers are 2 points back in the East. Which one of Elias Pettersson or JT Miller is more likely to lead their team to the playoffs this year?
Both, or on the other hand, neither, or one, right? I mean, you look at the races, Mark. Okay, you look at the races in the East. The Rangers are 2 points out. They've had surges, they've had drops. The Vancouver Canucks have had surges, they've had drops. There's too many games left to play to determine who's going to be in and who's not going to be in. You know, you reach this point in the season, the teams are what they are. The reason that there's no clarity on it is because the teams have risen up, they've fallen back, they show some good signs, they show some signs that give you doubt. That's true of the Vancouver Canucks. There's 4 teams fighting for one spot, in my view, in the West. That's the Vancouver Canucks, the Calgary Flames, Utah, and St. Louis. In the East, you got 5 teams fighting for one spot, because I'm giving the first wild card to the Ottawa Senators. There's so many games left, it now becomes a case of, okay, who can find their game and who can find it in a timely manner. And so for me to try to say one will be in and one won't be in, or both will be in or both will be out, there's no way I can do that. Now, what I will say is that the Rangers now are kind of in a tailspin. So they're going to have to find a level of play that is much better than what we've seen from them in recent games. The Vancouver Canucks, they seem to be one step forward, one step back, one step sideways, and that's not going to really get it done unless everybody else around you does that. And when you think about the playoff race and how everybody now is really paying attention to what they have to do, watching the scoreboards around the league, I can't sit here and say one's in and one's out. I do know this, though. It's close, and we got great races. And that, to me, is going to be fascinating as we go on. You know, we got them playing on Saturday. You know, a great opportunity for one to push themselves ahead a little bit. Another one to maybe have to answer the questions as to, you know, what's wrong.
Well, and here's the good news for Vancouver. Pettersson has 4 goals and 6 assists in his last 8 games. And you know what happened on the same day 8 games ago? I know you know the answer. It's the trade deadline. So do you think getting past the will they or won't they trade drama has helped Pettersson turn things around?
Yeah, I think we can point at that certainly as a positive. But prior to the trade deadline, Elias Pettersson came out and he acknowledged that he hadn't been as good as he needed to be. He really took ownership of his play. He wasn't sitting there saying that, making excuses. He was saying that, I know I can be better. They're expecting me to be better. My contract dictates that I should be better. My skill level says that I should be better. So I really believe that was kind of a burden off of his shoulders in just acknowledging, I haven't been as good as I need to be. I haven't been as good as they expect me to be. And then you lead it into the trade deadline. I never thought he'd be traded at the deadline. That's too big of a deal to happen. But I think when we look back at that, and having seen Elias play a number of times, he's been really good. And the numbers speak to it, but also his overall drive, his overall play. He's been a factor in the game. It's no accident that Brock Besser is scoring now, because you have Elias Pettersson performing at a high level. And they needed goals. They needed offense. So Elias Pettersson, I'll just finish it with this, Mark. Taking ownership of your own play and then saying, I need to be better, I think that it doesn't matter what you say, it matters what you do. And right now you're watching Elias Pettersson's actions speak much louder than his words.
Well, for what it's worth, FanDuel does give the Canucks better odds of making the playoffs than the New York Rangers.